the me now compared to the me in March of this year when the course began is more deeply and fundamentally different and profoundly altered than that me compared to a me at any other point in my life, going all the way back to the age of like 3. When I could first make memories and retain them. Like it has been so transformative in every dimension of who I am and who I show up as and who I am. Well, it's been massive. Being with and the Gestalt course, and one of our classmates in particular, who in the opening weekend he led like our agreements forming procedure in conversation with. I am particularly triggered by white male bashing, was what he said. And for me, that was deeply unsettling and triggering. And it was, oh God, another one, am I going to have this like ideological battle? And is that what this course is going to be? These two people at loggerheads. None of that has happened. And I found myself, not even at the end, but, midway through the course, like really deeply loving this person. And, he's fucking excellent. And what has occurred to me in retrospect is that in all of the countercultural spaces that I have been a part of, there's a way that we're all kind of wed to our own purpose and ideas of things. And when you go to a big conference or event, you're trying to find your people that have the same ideas that are aligned, and then you go off and you do some project together. And we all like to talk about that we are doing something that we are dedicated to that's bigger than ourselves, but actually we're all dedicated to our own little individualistic purpose that we're following. And what has been really radically countercultural and profoundly changing about this space is that we are all here to not know, and we are all here to be wrong, and we are all here to just be like, what is life, and what is your experience and what is mine, and explore the difference, and that has changed everything for me. I am so much gentler and softer in the way that I am with people and communicate, and I am so, almost nothing triggers me anymore. And if it does, I'm prepared like that. I'm ready to keep going, and I don't even show it visually in my face anymore. And that's 1 year in out of 4. Like, yeah, wow.
And I think Gestalt gives me a lens to kind of see through this complexity. Like within me, there's kind of like, not talking about the words, like I know about myself, but within me, there's like multitudes. Like I can want to connect and want to withdraw at the same time. Like I can be angry and sad and maybe happy and maybe excited all at the same time. And I can love you and hate you at the same time. It's kind of, it's that kind of like complexity and my ability to hold this complexity. And I experience this through the training, through the conversation. And that complexity and our capacity to hold the complexity makes meaningful connection possible, like makes life meaningful. And I felt like completely welcomed as who I am in this space. I'm still kind of fearful of like saying things or being angry or showing the kind of the edges of me, but there's still fear when I do that. But in general, I never felt so kind of included and so safe and so supported. But me personally, I am, just through a Gestalt lens, I'm more aware, what's happening in me and what's happening around the world, around me, in other people, and I'm more present. It's kind of an effort I need to make, but in general, I feel more present. And also I feel empowered, which enables me to make a lot of choices and move through my life and make the hard decisions, the hard but right decisions. And I also feel more connected to Australia, and to this land that I am on, and also more connected to my homeland. It kind of helped me to land in Australia as an immigrant, and also more understanding of where I am culturally. And also being a Chinese or Asian in the group, it also kind of helped me realize how precious it is. And I can, like, through the group process, I can really appreciate the difference between me and others, whether that's personality or views or values or cultural background. I really started to kind of appreciate the difference, and I find the differences are really beautiful. And I'm more willing to engage with the world and with other people. I'm more willing to connect with people, to kind of put myself out there, and build meaningful connections instead of kind of like isolating myself like an island, not let anyone touch me and not getting hurt, not being vulnerable. I'm kind of more willing to open myself up and build those connections and be vulnerable and be aware of my need and how I can both meet my need to connect and meet my fear to kind of connect at the same time.
Fundamental learning for me would be realizing through Gestalt that I'm not an island. This theory and understanding that self is a process. It's not actually a fixed identity. Nobody taught me that. You know, leading up all those years and ideas, I was left to form this idea of who I was from my family and all the experiences I'd had up to this point. I had this idea that I was a self-created person, that I was in control of who I was in the world, what I thought, what I did. And self as process kind of brought a malleability to that. It softened me, softened my firm edges, and taught me a lot about how to be in relationship with another. My tendencies for where I will meet a person, times and circumstances where I might pull away. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But the biggest learning really was field theory, which underpins Gestalt, this understanding that there's a much larger context that's happening that is either supporting or constraining what's possible in every moment. That each of us bring our history, our experiences, our culture, our beliefs, but what is happening around us in a situation, within a system, within nature, the timing, all of these things will have an impact on which part of ourself emerges and which part of ourself is constrained or held back. So for me, having a particularly challenging developmental history, Gestalt gave me the gift of understanding how I turn up in certain ways, and it helped me to depathologize who I was. I think there was a lot of introspection that was unhelpful, and Gestalt training has helped me to unravel that and deepen my self-understanding, deepen my capacity for relationship, and given me appreciation for context that flows into my work. I work in a lot of different workplaces. I'm a career development practitioner, a mentor, an industry consultant, and again, I have this gift of offering people an understanding of context that Gestalt has gifted me, and I can see how it depathologizes for other people as well.